Is this coming in pretty good like this? I hope I've got this right, because Drew's busy, everybody's busy, and I wanted to say hello again and catch up. I'm pretty caught up, but I just wanted to add a few more today, and these are questions that I received this morning. That's how caught up I am. And I just got through talking to Sally from California, one of our viewers, and great soul, Sally. Good work. Keep working on that lymph. Fruit, fruit, fruit. Think about a fruit fast. 10, 20, 30, 40 days of grapes. Seems long, but really goes pretty fast when you're doing it. So, and again, it is so great to talk to you guys, because I don't have to sit here and go through an hour, hour and a half of explaining the lymph system and what it is that's causing these things. You guys are getting very good on the ball, and it's just a real pleasure. I'm real happy that I opened this channel for you guys, and it's for me too. It helps me too. This is a comment. Let's see, a 27-year-old woman. She's overweight, 5'7", 390 pounds. She actually went up to 420 pounds, and she's down to 390 now. Due to many issues, I depend solely upon my student finances. Right? Ooh. Honey, well, you know what? You can always ask them if there's any herbs in the back and see if somebody's left us something. We're about to burn all those up with all the people that are asking for help, but we'll do everything we can to help you. Being that heavy, it might be hard to... and that's not heavy. I told you we had a 700-pound client. I know Dick Gregory had a 1,200 and some pound client. Dick Gregory is a great guy. He wrote a book years ago called Cooking with Mother Nature, and it was all raw foods. It was a good little book. Dick Gregory used to be a great big comedian, and now he's been a raw foodist for a lot of years. The same thing, sweetheart. You're going to want to work on your adrenals and probably thyroid here. Could be a little bit of a pituitary. I did comment on this, I think, at one time here. But do your best with the raw. If you have to have a little cooked, if you have to have a little starch once in a while, do the baked sweet potato to kind of give you that something as you move yourself down this line. You want to get a hold of your fungal problems. This is where your desires come in. You want to build up those adrenals. It'll strengthen your emotions and give you more inner strength. Make sure you're not cold. Check your basal temperatures under your arms. Make sure they're at least 97.5 or 6. I'll take that today. And work on these areas to help you increase metabolism, also to help the adrenals metabolize sugars better. At the same time, you're working on your kidneys. You're going to move your lymph, and the value of this is the edema you carry. Because in real probability, you're probably carrying 15, 20 pounds of water there as well, being so acidic. So all this will help, and the adrenal steroids then will help to rearrange your body, particularly the hips and the breasts and stuff. So work with that, and you'll be okay, honey. We have a Heal All tea. It's real cheap. They might even send you some, and drink that and start clean yourself out a little bit that way. Is this the rest of it? This might be the rest of yours. If it is, I'll just keep on going down this line. Let me see. I have constant bleeding. If this is you, so I'm just going to keep on reading here. It looks like it is. You have constant bleeding, some days heavier than others. That's not good. All right. Are you doing blood transfusions with that? What's going on with your blood workup? I have a hemostatic, which is a bleeding formula. It's called bleeding. I would get on that one. I'm sure they will work out a deal with you on that. That's to stop internal bleeding like that. You generally don't use it for menses, of course, but in this case, boy, I would. Being with weight and everything, I really suspect your pituitary here. That controls the ovaries and ovarian menses and stuff. And so I'd really be concernful with that. You're on our female reproductive formula. If you're that heavy, you're going to have to do 2 dropperfuls or more of that one. I would definitely do that bleeding homeostatic formula. I would probably do a glandular here for the pituitary gland. Let's see, you're 5'7", so you're not too short, so that's good. Because if you were too short or too tall, it would be definitely confirmation of the pituitary. FSH controls the ovaries and certain, so I would be suspecting the pituitary. If you ever can get a real up close picture of your eyes, I'll be able to help you a little deeper with that part of it. But you want to get control of that. That's what the female reproductive formula will do, is get control of your bleeding. It's a progesterone-like formula. It's suggestive that you have too much estrogen. That's not good, because this could lead to endometriosis, uterine fibroids, things like this. So real important to get that bleeding under control. Again, I would take that homeostatic, that bleeding formula to stop that bleeding. You've had this problem ever since you were 16 and you're 27. You haven't mentioned you've had blood transfusions. You've got to be anemic from that. That's horrible, honey. Well, the bigger you get, the more estrogen you produce, because your body produces estrogen in the fat cells. Even though I don't consider that an ovarian estrogen, but that can cause systemic edema and stuff like that from being too acidic. Could have an influence. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, you might have a week or 3 day goes by with no bleeding, then everything goes again. Oh, honey. Stress, bowel movements, or sometimes just random occurrences. Let's see. Oh, man. Pre-passed blood clots 5 inches long. Wow. Wow, and 1 inch thick. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, you need to stay on some raw foods. A lot of fruit and berries. Full of antioxidants, full of nutrition, full of alkaline chemistry. Your lymph is a mess. Your uterine wall's a mess. You're really having a lot of estrogen problems. So I would definitely address that pituitary gland. Really get into that. You're probably going to need to get a pituitary glandular. This is going to be a case where a glandular would be recommended. I don't know if the female reproductive formula is going to be strong enough, fast enough for you. Chase tree is a pituitary berry, and that's what the power pack of that is chase tree or you have no children. Let's see. All of the women in my family have had hysterectomy. So, yeah, I mean, definitely working on some genetics, sweetheart. Yeah. 2 bottles of reproductive formula. I'd take, with that size, I'd take quite a bit of that, probably 4 times a day. See how you do with that. You currently smoke cigarettes. Well, I know that your emotions are probably a mess, honey. So work on your adrenals. You might even need to do an adrenal glandular to help bring those adrenals up. Taking a glandular doesn't increase blood pressure. Taking our adrenal formula does. Licorice is a great herb. It's great as controlling blood sugar because it mimics cortisol, but it is also great at immediately bringing up blood pressure. And that's for all you low blood pressure people. Matter of fact, high blood pressure is low blood pressure, which is weak adrenals and kidneys, which causes high blood pressure. It's a cycle. But I would try to cut down, as much as possible. Smoke a little, tear it off, whatever you've got to do to wean down. But you're pulling acids right into your blood. And acids on top of acids are just going to make more acidosis and more problems here with bleeding and other things. I also might, if you were going to continue down this route, I would power pack my body with a lot of kelp. And the reason for kelp is you've got iodine for the thyroid and parathyroid, and then you've got the calcium. because you could be pulling your calcium out so much that your capillaries just that much estrogen is just keeping your capillaries popping, popping, popping. You really need the raw foods. You really need the fruits and berries. That's perfect for blood clots and stuff. They're also some degree of hemostatic in their own way. And look at these sort of things. I don't see a blood test here, but boy, I would like to look at your platelets and things. If you run low platelets, get to your spleen. Take a spleen formula and build your spleen up so you'll have more platelets so you can clot better. Get rid of the smoking. If you got to get a hookah or get a water pipe, even if it's tobacco, find a way to buffer those acids you're bringing into the body. Take a lot of kelp, because you really need to bring iodine and calcium in the body, but with its brothers and sisters in chemistry. Not take it as an extract or as an isolate. So work with that, and I think that'll help you immensely to grab a hold of this and to stop all this. So these are some of the things. I would definitely have one of the girls work with you. No crap, Steve. Good man. Yeah, thanks, Steve, for that comment. I appreciate it, man. I do my best. Man, you're a no crap kind of guy, too. I love that. I don't mean to be too strict, but we don't have time to play games anymore. Too many people suffering here. Like that poor lady. My God. How many years has she been suffering? So you'll get feeling better, sweetheart. Hang in there. Just get yourself focused. Do your best on the diet. A lot of fruits, berries, and melons. And get with the hemostatic, the bleeding formula, and really go after your body that way. Load yourself up with kelp and stuff like that. I think I'd really hit the pituitary with a glandular. That'll pop up your thyroid and parathyroid. It'll give you more parathormone, which is calcium utilization hormones. It'll bring up that thyroid. There's calcitone in there. So this is just going to help in a lot of ways. And bring all this under control, and to start bringing off some of that weight where you're going to feel like it. As you get those kidneys filtering better, then your lymph is going to come down. You're going to feel better. You're not going to feel tight and bloated. All this stuff's going to come out of you, and your body will reshape itself, and you'll be good. Naturopathic treatment for schizophrenia. Well, this naturopath doesn't treat anything, because that becomes, and especially when you get into mental health issues, because then we get into some crossing the lines, and this is true with all types of quote-unquote diseases. In all forms of mental health issues, bipolar, schizophrenia, your best bet is to focus on the endocrine glands, thyroid and adrenals specifically. But I would certainly get up in this head. I would clean that lymph. I would get blood flow. So upper circulation and brain and nerve are key formulas for every neurological problem that you can name. I don't care what it is, from schizophrenia all the way down to quads and paraplegics, Lou Gehrig's, MS, tremors, seizures. I mean, you get all of this. Get upper circuit, brain and nerve. Those are, I designed those for that. Get up in that head, but also remember the lymph system is what breaks things down. You're going to be moving lymph. Remember, the GI tract is a blocker, and the kidneys and adrenals are the blocker. Work on those all together, and boy, you're really working on it. That's what I say. When you're in supplements, you're playing this ridiculous isolated game. No brainer. When you're working with the botanicals, you can go right into specific tissues of the body, and you're going to get right into the levels that are blocking things. You're going to open things up. I mean, it's just all good, you know. I mean, it's just all good, you know, all good. So in all cases, and again, I'd work on the thyroid, I would work on the parathyroid, which is calcium utilization. That is an impact on the self and self-images, and also on calcium utilizations and depressions and stuff. But then go to the adrenals. That's your emotional band of all types. And also realize this person could have brought in some garbage from past lives, or however you view that. For me, it's past lives. Soul's coming in, bringing some stuff with it, going to dump some stuff. But detox is allowing soul to dump its other ball and chains that it's carrying around, as long as that soul is interested in growth and expansion. I've helped people that are schizophrenics and bipolars, and I've got them to a point. I remember a dentist's son, he loved to eat out of dumpsters and sleep on park benches, and so his dad was just had him in and out for years, in and out of these mental health places to help him, and he just couldn't help him, so he brought him into me, and I got him all cleaned up, and he's doing good, feeling good about himself and stuff. And I said, well, now you can go out and get yourself a job. You got a little apartment now. Get yourself a little job. You don't have to work much. You get you something, maybe get you a little cheap car, and you can drive around, have some fun that way. And I said, you don't have to eat out of dumpsters anymore. And he said, well, why? I enjoy eating out of dumpsters. I said, oh, I'm done. That's it. Okay, good. Have fun. Have a nice day. Because if you enjoy doing what you're doing, well, how can I help you? You got to want to change, or there's nobody can help you. Thank you, Lucy Rose Petal. Woo-hoo! Beautiful. Thank you for that. Yeah, we don't have much of a place here, but you know, when I first met Dr. Jensen, I went to his Health Valley Ranch, and by then he had been up on the hill there, and I was amazed how small of a place he was in, you know. And I said, Doc, I've kind of been in the same way, you know. People think you have this big, huge business and all this, and just because you're worldwide and pump it out. And I respected Dr. Jensen, quite a spiritual soul. You know, every few nights they'd take him out of his body and take him to these cities where they trained him into crystal healing. He didn't know how that applied in this life, and I don't think it did. I think that was his next journey, and they were preparing him for that next journey. So I've talked with him since. He said, you know, for me it was just walking across the street when I left my body. So neat stuff. You know, people used to see Dr. Jensen hanging around my office. It was funny, but we always had a good bond, me and him, and it was more of a spiritual bond. It was good stuff. I love that. I love the spiritual bonds. Monica, is that it? Thank you for the comment. Really, definitely thank you for the comment here. And you made a comment down here. To the water full of love. And I think, you know, that's kind of how I see it too. You guys are good people, and thanks that I'm glad you guys are having some vigorous conversations. I love that. You're all good brothers and sisters. You're all good souls, good friends, and so have fun with this and build yourself a set of strength and knowledge of this, and you're going to see, you're the warriors. You're going to carry the knowledge into this world that it needs so bad. So good work, all of you guys. Water full of love, all you guys. Really appreciate that. Someone asked me where in Portugal. Lisbon. Lisbon. That was fun. I really love the Portuguese people. Just a good breed of people. I really had a great time. I can't speak the language. I always had interpreters, but I'm used to having interpreters, so it's never a bother for me. But I loved it. I took Dr. Jensen over there one year with me, and you know, it was a trip. You know, he couldn't walk well, and so it was a trip, but we had a lot of fun. Dr. Jensen loved to travel the world anyway. You know what? I think I'm done, and I'm caught up to today, and so all I can say is that you guys are walking down the right road. Keep yourself empowered. Don't let anybody take your joy or disempower you. And I hope to continue these on a regular basis. I hope I can get your questions in a timely manner. But don't forget, if you come up with a problem or a question that you feel you need answered real quick, please call. Our lines are busy most of the time, so I apologize for that, but we want you well. We want you to learn this art and this science of detoxification, because it is the next adventure for this planet. Has to be. So, till we meet again, is that a cliche or something? But I love you all, and thank you so much, and have a great night. Bye-bye now. You know, Chris just showed me your video, Brandon Cintron, about me and that. And so, good video. You know, you kind of look like David Blaine. Are you a magic man? So, yeah, thanks, Brandon. I mean, you're a good guy. I can tell by looking at you. You're sweet, got a nice look, got a real good soul here. So, yeah, you know what? You hit it right on the head. Spiritually, I'm one of those guys that I work more like an eagle than a dove. I try to work like a dove, but there's a lot of years of a lot of fighting, so we can't have access to this. And unfortunately, it's like the battle, you know, like Michael, where you had in that movie Michael, and I can't remember what his name was, but he played the angel Michael, and he always went to battle, and but it's kind of that way. If you can be detached in that, that's the key. Just like you said, you have to be detached. Like little children, you know, you might have a bruiser day, and then you get up and go, yeah, all right, man, you know, and the love is back. And that's the way it really has to be there. John Travolta, yeah, that's him. Really, really good movie. I really like that. I love anything. We need more movies that tie the individual to the Supreme Being, and the love that gets, and the detachment that gets. And I really liked your video and the way you were saying that, and that's so true. I want this to be an educational site. A site for those serious-minded people that want to learn how to get well and also become healers and God-men and go out and do the same thing. So I try to keep this site as pure as possible in that way. And I really love the idea you guys are having another site that you guys are really getting into it with, and I love that. Chris is real interested in what site that might be, where you guys are, you know, getting together and having comments and stuff like that. I think that's great. I think it's a real learning experience. It'll home this intellectualism and bring it back to simplicity, and that's what I see, Brandon, in your thoughts. And that's the way it needs to be. With the B12 controversy or any other controversy, these are people that shout out things that they don't understand or don't know. And we've just gotten so intellectual about things that this is almost too simple for the intellectual mind, and some of them will turn away. That's okay. You know, we're standing strong as spiritual beings and light givers, and we're here to give the love and the light. But also, if you don't want a piece of it, okay, I don't care. You know, you're on your own journey there. So good work, Brandon. I love the video. I love you, and all you guys out there doing such good work, okay? So my hat's off to all of you, including you, Brandon Cintron. All righty, bye-bye now.